What's up, guys? Uh, so, another vlog here in the shower. I just did my first ever flotation tank, and, yeah, it was amazing. I will go into more detail about it, but I literally just got out, came to jump in the shower, and I'm still just out of it a bit. Just trying to sort out what happened in there. More in a bit. Okay, we are back. So, let's see, I got out of the isolation tank about an hour ago, so it's been an hour. And I guess first of all, let me just explain what it is for people who don't know. It's called an isolation tank, a floating tank, sensory deprivation tank. It's got a few different names, but basically what it is it's a large tank filled with water, 800 pounds of salt, so you float, and basically they totally they seal up, so you're just floating in complete darkness. And it's sensory deprivation, basically, because you're floating in body temperature water, in basically what amounts to be about a body temperature little capsule, and you have nothing on, so you basically don't have any contact of any sort with any of your body. You don't see anything, you don't really smell anything, obviously you're not tasting stuff, and about the only thing that I could really hear, you kind of hear the water splashing a little bit when you're sorting yourself out, but the only thing I could really hear was my heartbeat, which was interesting and a little weird for a bit. It kind of threw me off, but being my first time, get there, place is really nice, super cool, very friendly people, and I immediately jump into the tank and lay down, I guess, and start floating. And I guess the first thing I immediately noticed is how uncomfortable you are initially. I don't want to say it's uncomfortable, because it's not. It's just when you aren't touching anything and you're just floating there, you start thinking about muscles. You start thinking about the thing that I thought about most was my head and how my neck felt. So, to try and get comfortable, first I had my hands to my side, and then I decided to kind of put them behind my head, and that helped a lot because my head and neck were a little bit, were able to relax a bit more with my hands back there. So I actually stayed like that for a while, became accustomed to just the feeling of floating there with nothing else going on, and then after a while I did move my hands back down to my sides, which really relaxed me. So I want to say the initial probably 20, maybe even 30 minutes was trying to get comfortable, trying not to think about stupid stuff, just trying to clear my mind and relax. But once I got to the point where I was very relaxed, and I kind of just let everything go, I got into that point where you're not quite asleep, but you're dreaming a bit. So you're on the verge of falling asleep, but you are starting to have weird visuals and dreams. And they were weird. They were just different random things. I was in the apartment talking to like Oscar and Ethan at one point, and they were quick. They would just happen, maybe 5 or 10 seconds, and then it would just jump to something else, and it was strange but very, very relaxing. I did get to a point where this was towards the end of the float, and this was an hour-long float. I was just getting strange visuals. I had my eyes closed, and it was just getting strange visuals, almost wormhole style, where I was just flying through a wormhole. It didn't last long, and it was kind of interrupted by... I was interrupted by something. When you're floating around in there, it's not a huge tank, so every once in a while I would kind of float and then touch the edge with my foot or my elbows or hands or something. So anytime that happened, that threw me off a little bit. It kind of brings you out of whatever trance kind of feeling that you're in. Something that was weird that happened was there's a girl at work that I have been wanting to ask out, and then that kind of came up, and I was contemplating like talking to her and how I was going to ask her out. Nothing ever really, nothing sexual or anything, but thinking about how I was going to talk to her and ask her out started to arouse me, interestingly enough. I thought that was really strange. And, well, I guess once that happened, I kind of had to shut down that whole thought process, because that's kind of the opposite of what you want to do in a float tank, You don't really want to be super aroused. That's not really what it's about at all. So it was weird because nothing sexual came up, but still, yeah. So I thought that part was very strange. Overall, though, once I got out, and still, an hour and 20 minutes later, I'm feeling very relaxed. Very relaxed. And, somewhat clear, a bit. Sometimes I'll be foggy, during the day until sometime, towards the evening. But that just kind of cleared it all up. So it was really fun, super relaxing, very unique experience. If you're looking for something very unique and a good way to be introspective and work, through problems that you have in your life, and you have a float tank nearby, I first of all, do some research and make sure it's something you're comfortable with. But I would recommend checking it out at least once. I am absolutely going back. In fact, I might go back. I'm off. In the next couple of days, I'll have 2 days off in a row, which doesn't happen for me a lot. I am contemplating going back in just a couple of days and seeing how that goes. And then I think once I'm comfortable enough with it, I really would like to experiment with pot, and probably start off by just smoking a vape pen and getting in, and then eventually getting to the point where I'll take an edible and get in, and see what happens. I think that will be very interesting. So, yeah, that's about it. Just wanted to update you on the old isolation tank. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask below. I will try and answer them. And check out my other vlogs. Check out Getting High with Fonzai, where I just get baked and hang out and do stuff. I also stream on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Fonzai. And you can follow me on the Twitters at FonzaiTV. I think that's about it, guys. Thanks for checking in. I hope you're all fantastic. And I will update on my next float. And you know what? In fact, what I'll do is get a little video of what the float chamber looks like and stuff. I was going to do that today, but totally spaced it. Cool. All right. Love you guys. Stay amazing.